let's look at number 1. So you guys need to go and start looking at the application problems right here. On number 1, it says Mr. Beaumont buys his wife flowers and chocolate. Find the price of each if the flowers cost 4 times as much as the chocolate, and together they cost $15. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is what's called define your variables. Now, defining my variables, I'm going to use X, and I need to figure out what that's going to be. So if I look here, Mr. Beaumont's going to buy his wife flowers and chocolate. Find the price of each if the flowers cost 4 times as much as the chocolate. Do we know what the chocolate costs? No, so X is going to equal the cost of the chocolate. Now, the flowers is 4 times as much as the chocolate. So you're going to have 4 times X for the flowers. Now it says together they cost $15. So to write your equation, we're going to have X plus 4X equals 15. Now to be able to find the price of the flowers and the chocolate, we're going to have to solve that equation. So I'm going to go and draw my line right here. And I'm going to put my x's together. I get 5x equals 15. I'm going to divide by 5. X equals 3. 3 is x, which means right here it's the cost of the chocolate. So the chocolate's going to be $3. Then the flowers, it's going to be 4 times x, and I know x is 3, so I'll put that in there. So then I have 4 times 3 is 12. So the flowers are $12. Now, to make sure you did it right, you want to make sure that when you add these two things together, they equal 15, and they do. So now let's go to the next problem. It says Mr. Young's age is 2 years less than twice Mr. Krashevich's age. The sum of their ages is 54. How old is Mr. Young and Mr. K? Guys, star and highlight this one because there is an issue. When you see this phrase right here, less than, you have to be careful because they're going to trick you. It's going to be on your EOC test. It's going to be on the test you're going to have. When it says 2 years less than, that means you put the 2 at the end, and you're going to see that in just a minute. But that less than makes a huge, huge difference. Now, first off, it says that Mr. Young is 2 years less than Mr. K's age. I don't know Mr. K's age, so I'm going to make X equal Mr. K's age. Now, Mr. Young, he is 2 years less than twice. Okay, so twice means 2 times. So I have 2 times X. And then 2 years less than that, I have to subtract 2. Where people are going to go wrong is they're going to try and write it like this. 2 minus 2x. This is not correct. It's 2x minus 2, and you have to be careful because if it was a multiple choice test, they would have this as an option. Now, it says the sum of their ages is 54. Underline sum. That means plus. That means add them together. So I'm going to have 2x minus 2, that's Mr. Young's age, plus x, which is Mr. K's age, and that equals 54. Now, to find out how old they are, we're going to have to solve this. 2x minus 2 plus x is 54. Draw your line at the equals 2 sign. Put together your x's. Combine your like terms. I get 3x minus 2 equals 54. I'm going to add 2 to each side. 3x equals 56 and divide by 3. X equals, what is that? 1. Does that work nicely? Did I choose a bad number? 2 years less than, yeah, 2 years less than twice Mr. K's age. The sum of their ages is 54. So 3x, and I move that over 56. Okay, so that's fine. What is 56 divided by 3? I'm sorry, 18.6? 18.6. All right, well, we can still do that. I guess Mr. K is 18.6 years old. Okay? So Mr. Young is 2 times 18.6 minus 2. I mean, you can be 0.6 of a year old. We just don't tell people, well, unless you're a baby, when we say you're only 6 months old or 3 months old or whatever. All right, so what's 2 times 18.6? Thank you, 37.2. And then you subtract off the 2. So Mr. Young is 35.2 years old. 35.2 years old. And 18.6 is Mr. K. I thought when I made up this problem that I was making Mr. Young like way old, but I guess I didn't. Mr. Young is a teacher next. That's Mr. K over there. Mr. Young's next door. Yes. Here we go. All right, next one says the first of 2 practices lasted 5 minutes less than, underline less than, 4 times as long as the second. Remember less than, I'd underline less than and draw an arrow like that on your paper so that you don't forget to know that that goes at the end anytime you see the less than. So it says the first of 2 practices lasted 5 minutes less than 4 times as long as the second. Well, I don't know how long the second one was, so I'm going to make x equal the second practice. Now, the first practice lasted 5 minutes less than 4 times, so 4 times the second practice, so that's 4x, less than, so I'm going to put minus 5. That's going to be the first practice. So now it says together they lasted 95 minutes. That means I have to add them together. So my equation is going to be the first practice, 4x minus 5, plus the second practice equals 95. Well, 4x minus 5 plus x equals 95. I'm going to put together my x's. I have 4x and 1x. 5x minus 5 is 95. I'm going to add 5 to each side. I get 5x equals 100. Divide by 5. X equals 20. Is that my answer? Is that what I'm looking for? No, 20 is the second practice. The first practice is 4 times 20 minus 5. So I have 80 minus 5. So the first practice is 75 minutes. All right, let's look at number 4. Oh, this one's fun. Okay. Mr. McCaslin's pet iguana, Freddie, weighs 3 kilograms less than, underline less than. Draw a little arrow to remind us to put it at the end. Less than 3 times the weight of his ferret, Fluffy. Together, they weigh 99 kilograms. What are their weights? Yeah, is 99 kilograms a lot? No? I don't know. I don't know my measurements. Kilograms. It's more than grams. 1,000 more than grams, right? Y'all are looking at me like I'm talking Japanese. All right, here we go. All right. It says that Freddie the iguana weighs 3 kilograms less than the weight of his ferret. I don't know how much Fluffy weighs. So X is going to be Fluffy the ferret. Now, Freddie. All right. 3 kilograms less than 3 times the weight of Fluffy. So 3 times the weight of Fluffy minus 3. Very important, that less than and that arrow. Let's make sure, remember, I'm telling you over and over, it's going to be there. Now, together, their weights add up to 99. So I've got Fluffy, which is X, plus Freddie, 3X minus 3, and that equals 99. So, all right. Put your X's together. X plus 3X, 4X minus 3 is 99. Now I'm going to add 3 to each side, which means I have 4X equals 102. I hope that works out nicely. Oh, well, X equals, what is it? 25.5. Now, can something weigh 25.5 kilograms? Sure can. So I'm going to take this, and that's how much Fluffy weighs. 25.5 kilograms. Fluffy. Now, Freddie is 3 times 25.5 minus 3. What that is? 73.5? Wait. What's this when you multiply these two together? Is it 76.5? Minus 76.5? Y'all are confusing me. You keep yelling numbers at me. Okay, so, the answer, wait. Look, 3 times 25.5 is 76.5. Then subtract off the 3, so I get 73.5. 73.5 kilograms is how much Freddie the iguana weighs. Okie dokie. Let's see. Mrs. Wadsworth cut a 96-foot cable so that one piece is 13 feet longer than the other. So what's the length of each piece? Well, the first piece, do I know what one of them is? No, it's got to be X. Now the second piece, it says it's 13 feet longer. So what does that mean we do? We add. We take the first one plus 13. Now, if you take the first one, X, plus the second one, X plus 13, that should equal 96. Okay. So now, combine like terms, put together your X's. 2X plus 13 equals 96. Subtract 13 from each side. 2x equals 83 divide by 2, x equals 41.5. Okay, so that's the first cable right here, 41.5. Can that happen? Can you cut a cable 41.5 feet? Yeah, you can. So now I put 41.5 in for x, and then I have plus 13. So the second cable should be 54.5 feet. Now remember, to make sure you did it right, you should add the first two pieces together, and they should equal 96. Okay, let's remind ourselves on solving equations. We need to do the hippity-hoppity distributive property. 3 times x and 3 times negative 3. Yes, 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 3, negative 9 equals 24. Add 9 to each side. 3x equals 33. Divide by 3. I want you to look at something. Look at what's on my board. On my board, do you see how it's step by step written that you can follow it? That is what has to be on your paper when you have a test or a quiz, and on your assignments. I have to see this process right here. If not, it will be wrong. You can't cram it all together. All right, number 7. There's my equal to bar. I'm going to look on the left. I have 7 plus 2. So I have negative 3x. I got to leave that alone. Plus 9 equals 9. Now I'm going to subtract 9 from each side. And I get negative 3x equals 0. Divide by negative 3. X equals 0. Number 8. Now this one messes people up because guess what people try to do? Yeah, they try and take 4 times x and 4 times 8. That is not correct. There is a negative 1 in front of that parentheses. So we need to, yeah, and I want you to make sure and look and see. That's why I wanted you to do these at first, to see if you made that mistake, because that's a common one. So the 4 comes down. I get negative 1 times x, negative 1 times 8, negative 8 equals 16. Okay, be careful and make sure you did this. Now we have to combine like terms. 4 minus 8. So I have negative x minus 4 equals 16. Now from here, I add 4 to each side. And I get negative x equals 20. You can't stop there. This x, it cannot say a negative x. The answer can be negative, but where right here at the x, it can't be negative. So this is like a negative 1, so I divide by negative 1 to each side. X equals negative 20. Number 9. My equal sign is right here. On the left, put together your x's first. So I get 2 minus 6. That's negative 4x. Then I have 4 plus 8, which is 32. It is not 32. Woo, what did I do? I was multiplying. I was supposed to add them together. It should be 12. I looked over here and saw that 32, so it's supposed to equal 32. 4 plus 8 is 12. Now you're going to subtract 12 from each side. Negative 4x equals 20. Divide by negative 4. X equals negative 5. Number 10. Number 10 has x's on both sides. Remember, we talked about this. All my x's need to live in Texas. I mean, go to the left. It's just a joke. Okay, so my x's need to go to the left. So there's a positive x right here. You can't just put it to the other side. You have to do the opposite. So you have to subtract x from each side. 3x minus 1x. 2x minus 4 equals negative 6. Add 4. 2x equals negative 2. Divide by 2. X equals negative 1.